Good day, class. In the previous videos, we have studied the Zang organs. The Zang organs are the core organs in the Zang Fu theory. From this video, we are going to study the Fu organs. There are 6 Fu organs: the gallbladder, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, sanjiao, and urinary bladder. When we see from the shape of these organs, they are all hollow inside. They need to receive the food and water from the mouth. However, they should not store the food within the organ. The food and water need to be transported further, for example, from the mouth, esophagus, to the stomach. The food need to be transported to the small intestine and then to the large intestine. So these Fu organs are very different from the Zang organs. The Zang organs, they need to store the essence. Storing and Fu organs, they need to transport. They need to pass the food to the next level. So the Zang organs, they are more likely to be deficiency because of the storing function. Deficiency means you don't have enough. That's because of the storing function. If they don't store enough, or the storing function has been affected, they cannot store, then the Zang organs will be deficiency. On the contrary, the Fu organs, they always have excess syndrome. The excess syndrome, that's because they need to transport something downwards. However, in some situations, they stop transporting, they store the food or the water in certain area. In this situation, it will cause diseases. For example, if the stomach store the food within the stomach, the patient may feel stomachache, nausea, vomiting. If the bladder store the water in the bladder or store the urine in the bladder, the patient may present with urine retention. The 6 Fu organs actually consist of the digestive system from the anatomy, the Nanjing, the 81 questions that explain 81 difficult questions from the Huangdi Neijing, also one of our classic, describe that there are 7 gates in the digestive system as they form some changes in this digestive system. The first one, the Fei gates, the Hu gates, the Xi gates, the Ben gates, the You gates, Lan gates, and Po gates. These different gates indicates that the previous practitioners, they realized the changes in this system. The Fei gates refer to the lips. The Hu gates refers to the teeth. The Xi gates refers to the epiglottis. The Ben gates refers to the joint between the esophagus and the stomach. So that's the upper parts. The You gates between the stomach and the small intestine. The Lan gates between the large intestine and the small intestine. The Po gates is the anus. From this point of view, it actually indicates that the food we eat in will need to go through all these different gates in order to be transformed or transported. So that refers to the whole digestive system. And as you can see from the whole link, these are actually the Fu organs. The gallbladder locates under the liver. The gallbladder meridian connects to the liver. Because of the close relationship between the gallbladder and the liver, the gallbladder is considered as the coupled organ or the paired organ of the liver. There are two functions of the gallbladder: storing and excreting the bile, and dominating the decisions. The storing and excreting biles, this function, no matter from Chinese medicine or from conventional medicine view, they share similar views on the storing and excreting biles. However, the formation of the bile is different from the Chinese medicine view. In Chinese medicine, we agree that the bile is from the liver blood or the liver axons, or sometimes we say from the actual liver qi. The actual liver qi will transformed into the bile, and it is stored in the gallbladder with the assistance from the liver, especially from the liver function of regulating the qi flow. The gallbladder qi can excrete the bile during the digestive function. If this function has been affected, the qi flow has been blocked. The bile will be blocked within the gallbladder. The patient may present with jaundice, such as yellow eyes, yellow skin, yellow urine. And the dysfunction of the gallbladder in the storing and excreting the bile, the patient may this may affect the digestive function. The digestive function of the spleen and stomach. The patient may present with poor appetite, distending feeling in the abdomen, or diarrhea. If the qi flow of the qi flow from the liver move outwards, so that's the excess qi flow from the liver, the gallbladder qi will be transported upwards. In this situation, the patient may present with bitter taste in the mouth. So these are all different signs of the dysfunction of gallbladder. Another function of the gallbladder is dominating the decisions. The decision making in Chinese medicine, which has the function of the gallbladder. If a person very difficult to make decisions, we will say that this person suffers from poor gallbladder function. If he or she is a patient in the treatment, we're going to focus on the gallbladder. We're going to recover the gallbladder function of dominating the decisions. We're going to tonify the gallbladder. In some other patients, the patient also may present, especially for the gallbladder deficiency, the patient also may present with very easy being frightened, insomnia, or dream disturbed sleeping. The gallbladder is one of the 6 full organs, as the shape of this organ is hollowed inside. However, the gallbladder is also one of the actual ordinary organs. The reason is because the gallbladder, although it has similar shape to the full organs, the function of the gallbladder, storing the bile, this function is very similar to the Zang organs, the storing function. As we discussed previously, the full organs need to transport the food, the water, so they need to transport, they should not store something. If they store the food, it will cause problems. However, the gallbladder has the shape of the full organs, but it has the function, have a similar function of the Zang organs of storing. So the gallbladder is considered as one of the actual ordinary organs. The stomach, located under the diaphragm, the stomach meridian connects to the spleen, similar to the liver and the gallbladder, because of the very close relationship between the stomach and the spleen. Stomach, these two organs are considered as the coupled organs. There are two functions of the stomach: receiving the food and water, decomposing the food and water. These two functions are actually opposed together. The receiving food and water refers to the function that the stomach needs to receive and store the food and water from the diet, and then it has to be these foods had to be transported downwards to the small intestine. Because of this function, to receive the foods, the stomach is also considered as the sea of the grain and water. The decomposing function of the stomach is supported by the spleen. The stomach can decompose the food primarily and then transports the food to the small intestine. There are two characteristics of the stomach. The stomach dominates descending. The stomach prefers moisture, dislikes dryness. If you still remember, these two characteristics are exactly opposite to the spleen. The spleen dominates the rise of clear or clear qi. So one moving upwards, the other one moving downwards. The spleen is moving upwards. The stomach is moving downwards. When you see something moving upwards, the spleen, something moving downwards, that's the circulation. Once something needs to move up, something needs to move down, then the circulation will be activated. So that's also why the stomach and the spleen is considered as pairs. There's also a pair of yin and yang. Something move up, something move down. The stomach prefers moisture and dislikes dryness. This is opposite to the spleen. The spleen prefers dryness, dislikes moisture. This descending function refers to all kinds of descending in the human body, including the transportation of the food from the stomach to the small intestine, from the small intestine to the large intestine. So this actually also refers to the descending of the stool. From this point of view, if a patient suffers from constipation, we also can focus on the stomach. We can focus on the treatment of the stomach to recover the function of descending. This will assist to relieve the constipation. Because the stomach prefers the moisture and dislikes dryness, in our treatments, we need to be careful that we should not cause extra dryness, especially in some treatments that we want to relieve the dampness in the body. We need to keep the balance of the stomach and the spleen. Otherwise, it may result in constipation. There's one term that we need to clarify, the stomach qi. The stomach qi is very important in Chinese medicine, as the functions of the stomach are to receive the food and water and then decompose the food and water. These two functions actually it is where the acquired qi comes from. The nutrition for the human body comes from. So if there's no stomach qi, person will die. So that's the most essential substance of human health. When seeing the patients, we also can see from the stomach qi to kind of predict or to determine the prognosis of the diseases. How do we see the stomach qi? We can see from the patient's appetite. We can see from the patient's digestive function. All these different aspects, from receiving food, decomposing food, these symptoms and signs can help us to identify the stomach qi. As these functions are in combination of the spleen function. So in order to improve the stomach qi, we also need to tonify the spleen. The stomach qi is actually a part of the qi of the whole body. When this qi goes to the stomach and acts as the function of receiving and decomposing food and water, this part of qi we call the stomach qi. The small intestine locates in the abdomen. It connects with the stomach and the large intestine. Its meridian connects with the heart. The main functions of the small intestine are receiving and digesting food, as well as separating the clear from the turbid or from the clouded. The first function, receiving and digesting food, this is actually the furthest step of the stomach. The food and water from the stomach has been digested and decomposed for the first step, and then you move further down to the small intestine. In the small intestine, the small intestine further digests the food and separates the clear parts and the crowded parts. The clear parts of the food and the water were transported upwards back to the spleen. The spleen can further transport it to the lung through the lung's dispersing function. These nutrients, these clear food or water, can be transported to all over the body to the superficial. The crowded parts from the intestine will be transported downwards to the large intestine. The crowded water will be transported to the bladder. The crowded food or solid waste will be transported to the large intestine to form the stool. So from this point of view, the small intestine is very important in the process of the water metabolism, because the water goes to the body and the stomach absorbs some, and then further down to the small intestine. The small intestine is actually an important area to absorb, to digest the water, and to reuse the useful water, the clear water. So in our clinical practice, sometimes the patients suffer from diarrhea. How can we treat the diarrhea? Sometimes we will increase the urination and then to stop the diarrhea. The reason is because the function of the small intestine can separate the same crowded food and water into the bladder or the stool. So in Chinese medicine view, we see the stool and the urine are actually from the same origin. For diarrhea, we got excess water in the stool, so we can increase the urine to go from the bladder, and then we can reduce the liquid in the stool. That's how we treat the diarrhea for some situations. In this situation, this kind of diarrhea, it is actually the dysfunction of the small intestine, because in this situation, the small intestine cannot separate the water, the crowded water and the food, the waste. So these two are mixed. So in the treatments, we need to recover the function of the small intestine to separate the water and the waste. The large intestine located in the abdomen. It connects with the small intestine and anus. From the stomach, small intestine, and large intestine, we can see in the anatomy, the end of the stomach is the start of the small intestine. The end of the small intestine is the start of the large intestine. And then, eventually, the large intestine connects with the anus. So this is a pathway of where the food and fluids moves. The large intestine meridian connects with the lung. The functions of the large intestine include receiving and conveying the waste sent down from the small intestine, absorbing its fluid, and forming the feces. So this is one of the main functions of the large intestine. Another function is governing the body fluid. Because of the function of the large intestine is mainly to receive and conveying the waste from the small intestine. So this function will determine that the large intestine is mainly focusing on the waste or the feces. In other words, if the patient presents with the feces problem or any abnormal in the stool, either diarrhea, constipation, bloody stool, we will focus on the treatment of the large intestine. Because the large intestine locates in the abdomen, this kind of the problem with the large intestine, the patient also may present with abdominal pain. The bottom part of the large intestine connects with the anus. In some situations, for example, if the patient suffers from dampness, damp heat in the large intestine, the patient may feel heaviness sensation in the anus. This is because the large intestine connects with the anus, and the diseases in the large intestine may present as the sensation in the anus. The function of receiving, conveying waste, and absorbing the fluids, forming the feces. The whole process from the small intestine to the large intestine and further down to the anus. As you can see here, something moving downwards. Something is moving downwards. This process has a very close relationship with the stomach, the spleen, the lung, and the kidney. For example, previously when we studied the stomach, we mentioned that the stomach governs the descending. The stomach tries to help everything moving downwards, that's the descending. The waste from the small intestine to the large intestine and move further down to the anus, this descending function needs assistance from the stomach. The lung, the large intestine connects with the lung. The meridian of the large intestine connects with the lung. And the lung, previously we introduced the lung. It is similar to the umbrella. When you see from the anatomy, the lung sits on top of the body above the large intestine. When you see the human body as a whole, it is very similar, like a pot. The pot, the lid, the lung is considered as the lid of the pot. If you close the lid of the pot, it is very difficult to pour the water out of the pot. So a patient suffers from constipation. What can we do? We can recover the lung's function to open the lid. This can be used for constipation. Also, this method also can be used for difficult urination, to open the lungs to assist the urination and stool. Another aspect is from the lung. The lung regulate the qi circulation, regulate the qi. This qi, especially the moving downwards of the large intestine, also need a descending from the lung. The spleen will assist the absorbing function of the large intestine. The kidney stores. The kidney will store the feces, will help the large intestine to keep the feces in the large intestine for certain periods. So as you can see, the function of the large intestine is actually in combination of all different organs. Another function is the large intestine governing the body fluid. This refers to the body fluid or the water passed down from the small intestine into the large intestine. The large intestine need to absorb the water, need to separate the water, to reuse the water we can use, and then to separate the water from the material waste. If this function had been affected, if the large intestine cannot separate the water and the waste, the patient may present with abdominal pain or diarrhea. If the dysfunction of this governing the body fluid, if the large intestine absorbs too much water in this waste, the patient may present with dry stool or constipation. So all these symptoms that are related to the feces in Chinese medicine is related to the large intestine, although it also might relate to other organs. But the large intestine plays an important role in anything related to feces. In this video, we have introduced some of the food organs. As you can see from the discussion, the functions of the food organs are much simpler than the Zang organs. One of the reasons is because the Zang Fu theory. This theory is based on the Zang organs. We focus on the 5 Zang organs. The functions of the Fu organs are actually is under the assistance of the Zang organs. That's the reason why we said that we use the Zang organs as the core. In the next video, we are going to continue the discussion on the Fu organs as well as the actual ordinary organs. Thank you for your attention.